Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Jason Abraham with my personal studio, Flint Hill Productions. Today we have a special guest. His name is Henry Smith. He's going to be talking about the great organization, the Jazz Society in Fort Pierce. Please check out the video and like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, it's a long history since I'm 81.
God bless you.
Okay. The start was pretty conventional. As a young kid, I obtained my primary education, and it was all formal because I was taught in Europe, so there was no jazz, nothing, and you learn about Beethoven. There was a bit of a rebellion because we loved jazz even in Europe. Europe couldn't get enough of American music and things of that nature. And once I learned how to play keyboard in Europe back 60 years ago, the only keyboard you could carry around was an accordion. The modern keyboards didn't exist back then. The technique is the same, but within a year or so I was already playing with my buddies in a band, and we were entertaining people. And once I came to United States, now I'm in heaven because I'm surrounded by American music, things of that nature. The music always continued because once you become somewhat proficient in it, it doesn't go away. My focus really was engineering. I followed my father. He was a musician, but he was also an engineer. I was a musician, but I followed the engineering career. While I was running and starting companies, I heard Jimmy Smith on organ. Once I heard him, I just had to have one. Okay, they brought that monster into my living room, and that was, again, I got a little more serious, but I was more serious with running companies and things of that nature. Well, that kind of came to a stop when I decided to, I've had enough of high tech, and I was a bit of a burnout, so I guess what I decided to do? I decided to play in a blues band for 10 years. They wanted me to carry that, 500-pound organ around. I said no, but luckily during that time the technology moved forward, so Roland came out with a very good clone of B3, Hammond B3, and that's what I was carrying around for 10 years. During that period we also became serious RVers, real snowbirds. So we would come to United States, to Florida every winter, and then I discovered Port St. Lucie. And that was again like finding a new heaven because the Jazz Society already existed back here, and they ran weekly jam sessions. So I would bring the portable organ and take it out and join these guys. So I knew about them, and then once we decided to retire from cold New England, Port St. Lucie was going to be the location. Not only it's a beautiful, very nice city to spend your retirement, but also Jazz Society was already back there, in existence. So as of this year, they've been around for 27 years.
Oh wow,
which
that's awesome.
is unbelievable, for 501c organizations. They knew of me and I knew of them. I was still busy with my career, but they said, well, why don't you join the group? Why don't you do this? I said, no, I haven't got time. But eventually I sold the business, and they said, all right, come on in. So one thing led to another, and I was eventually made a vice president, and the president passed away a couple of years ago. So naturally I inherited a position. I decided to do a few interesting things, and we might want to talk about those. The society has resources, and those resources come from several places. Because we are 501c, we accept money, and there's quite a number of people that have set up funds that we annually receive funds from, and then usually when we have a period when we have students come on and compete for scholarships, then people also contribute money because they know it's coming. And in addition, we run annually an advanced jazz camp. Stay with us for a week with fabulous musicians and instructors. And I've actually, even though I've been a musician for a long time, I benefited from it greatly. So this is like my probably 7 or 8 year that I'm taking it, but I'm also run that particular enterprise to make sure it happens properly every year. The scholarships, these are $1,000 per student. It gets awarded to seniors, and you compete for that. It's not like we just give it out because people send us a letter saying, "Can I have the money?" It's pretty formal, and they have to present themselves, and they have to pick a couple tunes that they can play well, and then they get evaluated by a committee of 4. Okay, so you have to be pretty good, in order to earn it. Now, we don't have a requirement that you have to specifically use it to further your musical education, because you're going to become a musician. Many people, even very, very good musicians, decided, well, that's not the lifestyle for me. I want to earn my living differently. I did, okay? I did for 50 years. I was a business person and engineer, and hiring people and employing people. But again, the music never went away. So once they compete for that, they can apply it either to a musical education, and we kind of hope that maybe if they want to become engineers or scientists or lawyers or whatever, that maybe they can have a minor in music in colleges where they go to. The most rewarding thing was that several recipients of the scholarship over the past several years that we've observed, there's a sizable number that actually followed into becoming professional performers or teachers or whatever you might want to do in that industry. Whenever they're around, we bring them back, we put them in our rotation, and they perform. And as a matter of fact, 3 of them this year are coming back to the jazz camp, and they are actually instructors. I mean, they're just fabulous players. They really apply themselves, and so you're giving them a slot now to teach others. Okay. But while they're here, we snag them into our, playing schedule. We have a very, very busy schedule. I hire the musicians and so forth. On a monthly basis, we play at probably 4 or 5 different places. Also, we get hired, to play for special functions. But our normal schedule is at least 4 to 6 performances a month. It's very, very busy. A lot of these associations, they might have few performances a year. We do it every week. jazzsociety.org. Plug that into your computer, okay?
Yes.
And you'll see a fabulous website that we have. The season typically starts in November and goes through April. So they actually come prepared because they know what's coming, where we're going to be. Because as member, we inform them a lot, routinely about all these things that are happening. 40% of families have somebody who's musically, either talented or playing, or in some instances, there's two people in the family that are doing that. So it's not uncommon, the musical talent is pretty prevalent in the society, and if you have that ability, the pathway is pretty straightforward, and all schools actually have a music programs where anyone that wants to pursue playing, they'll have the instruments, and obviously they have instructors and programs and things like that. So the most basic thing is similar to me. You started in high school. It requires some commitment because a lot of music is done outside of a normal curriculum, but it's a fabulous opportunity that schools offer. My father played 3 different instruments actually. He played flute, and he played drums and saxophone. I started with an accordion. jazzsociety.org.